Hello, fellow fools, and welcome to the collective reading for this full moon in Aquarius that we are in right now. And the theme of this lunation is show the world the real you. Aquarius is the sign of, innovation, being different, being unique, right? So showing the world the real you is what's being invited right now because we're also in Leo season. Leo can be very dramatic. It is also about self-expression. So we're being asked right now to really balance okay, how can we be seen right now in our full view and also work within the community as a whole? So we think of Leo as the star, that's the sun, it's shining bright on its own. But then when we think about Aquarius, all these stars come together to create a constellation of some kind. So it's balancing the unique, what you need to feel heard and also what the collective needs as a whole and how we are showing up as a unique person within the collective, So that's something to keep in mind. Another thing to keep in mind for this lunation is that we are in Leo season. This is a very dramatic full moon that we're experiencing right now. We have a lot of tension in the sky, just a lot of communication between outer planets. We have a few retrogrades going on. So my advice to you, just before we even draw any additional cards, is just know that there's a little bit more drama in the air than maybe people are usually. Maybe someone who's not usually so dramatic is being a little bit more emotionally dramatic at this time. So give people a little bit more grace is something that I would definitely recommend, and also give yourself grace, and try not to your needs deserve to get met, right? But make sure that you are also showing up in a way where you're not trampling on other people's needs as well. We're really trying to work in the constellation and other people's, there's a lot of ego. I'm feeling a lot of ego challenges in this lunation. So, maybe someone's challenging your ego, and ego is not a bad thing. We all need ego to separate ourselves. Again, that's our own individual, being our own individual star, that is important, but also we are working together to make that bigger constellation. You know what I mean? So 3 cards did come out. This is the Frito Kahlo Tarot deck, which my friend Keelan gave to me 2 weeks ago for the Leo new moon. So I thought it was only right to use it for this full moon. So we have the first card we have is the Knave of Swords. So this is the Knight of Swords. And that's a very quick, swift energy. We're talking swords. That's our communication. That's our thoughts. So there's a lot of mental activity going on. There's a lot of communication going on right now. So it is reversed. So the advice that I'm going to give with that is that, there's a lot of new insights. Uranus, the planet of sudden changes, it's the wild card planet. It is making an aspect to this full moon, this full moon. So it's part of the conversation. There might be sudden changes, sudden aha moments. You're thinking different perspectives, things like that. So this is just saying you're going through a lot of mental energy right now, and communications that are opening your mind to new possibilities. So try not to think so black and white, because a new solution might come out of the blue that you're not even expecting. So be patient and try to just take time to process. Maybe you journal, anything that's going to help you process, maybe even talk to a therapist, talk out loud to a friend to process these things before taking action, because things just might not be what they seem right now, but if you give it a little bit of time, things will unfold really nice. So I will say the astrology of this lunation is really, there's a lot going on. It's really intense, but next week we do have a Jupiter Venus conjunction. Venus is the planet of goodness, love, relationships. Jupiter, the planet of expansion, learning, sometimes good luck. It depends. But that's a really nice energy. So just know that any tension that might be happening right now, that has the potential to really lead into something really beautiful next week. So give things time for sure. So we also have the Ace of Swords reversed. So Ace of Swords has been a hugely popular card, in all my readings in the last year, basically. So Ace of Swords is all about that new idea. We're talking swords here. Again, new ideas, new ways of thinking about things. Also, swords are sharp. This is our opportunity to take the sword, the metaphorical sword that we all have within us, and be how are we hurting ourselves with our own sword, our own thoughts? What narratives do we need to cut out of the picture so we can really have a new way of thinking about things? Because collectively this year, next year, we are entering a whole new era of life. Like, it's a whole new chapter. It's a whole new storyline. So like, we're in this kind of middle ground of like, okay, we're not really in the old world, but we're not really in the new world yet. So this is our invitation. Like, what parts of our old world still need to be culled and like cut out in order to make, it's like pruning a bush. You prune the bush so then it can become more full and beautiful. So that's what we're doing to our minds right now, and also with the people that we're communicating with. We can continue a relationship with the same person, but maybe we need to change the dynamic. Maybe we're not besties like we used to be, but we're still friends and we can still hang out from time to time. But there's certain boundaries, there's certain changes that need to happen in our mind space, and that might ultimately also change the dynamic of how we're interacting with the other people in our lives. So it's okay to change. Change is really uncomfortable. Even if it's good change, it's still change. It's really unsettling to our nervous system. So just keep in mind that change is happening whether or not we like it or not, and we need to just embrace it and claim it with consciousness rather than letting it take us apart. So everything's gonna be okay. There's a lot of chaos in the sky right now. Don't worry about it. It's going to be fine. Just give it time, give it space, breathe. And also know that rejection is divine protection. So if something's not working out, whether it be a friendship, a business thing, whatever, just know that that's just redirection. Spirit's like, hey, you learned your lesson there, or like, we need to shift gears here. That you learned what you needed from that, or that wasn't helping you anymore. So let's get you back on track towards where we need to go. Another thing that I might have said in one of these recordings before, but it's really important. My friend Lily told me this, and I'm just like so blown away by this knowledge, is that we can either choose comfort or we can choose growth. And in this lifetime, like, all of our souls want to grow. We're all here to have novel experiences and to grow, right? But, that does have to be balanced, because sometimes we're growing so much, like, we need to take a break and like go back to that comfort and like settle down before we can go back to that growth. But now's a really great time to ask yourself, like, are you in a growth mindset right now? Are you in a growing point right now? Or are you needing more comfort? It's okay to need both, and especially like both day to day, So just know that there's a really big growth push for all of us right now, which is uncomfortable. So a lot of us are uncomfortable. A lot of us are a little on edge. Just give it a little bit more grace. And it's just, that's life, we got to just take what it gives us, So the last card that we have is the King of Cups. Okay. And this is also reversed. We've got all these reversals. And again, reversals aren't bad. How I see reversals is just like, this is an invitation for us to go inwards. Reversals are like retrogrades, and we're actually in a Mercury retrograde right now. We're actually also in a Saturn and a Pluto and a Neptune retrograde right now. And I might have even missed one, but a lot of retrograde energy, and that's just internal energy. This is reflection. When we're talking about retrograde, it's RE, retrograde, rest. Anything that starts with RE, that's what we're called to do, like reevaluate. So just know that like, now's not the time to be like, we all are in an energy of like push, like stop and go. It's like, are we going? Are we not? Are we going? Are we not? It's like really annoying, to be honest. But just know that like, this is a time of evaluation. Like, yes, we want to go forward, but like, are we really building a foundation going forward that's serving us in the best, highest way? Or are we just trying to push forward to make the decision and get that over with? We really need to take our time to be more conscious and more in tune with our emotions. This is the King of Cups, right? So within us, are we showing up with our own emotional intellect and our emotional boundaries? King of Cups is someone who knows how to be generous with their emotional bandwidth, and like, they have a lot of wisdom emotionally, but also they're not going to let people take advantage of them. Some people in your life might be really sucking a lot of emotional energy out of you. Again, we're all going through really profound things right now. But, how much do you actually have to give? How full is your cup actually? Because you could keep giving from your cup, but you might be surprised that cup might run out sooner than you thought, just because there's so much going on and you need some of that for you. So taking care of yourself is not selfish. That's something that is really important to understand at this time. And additionally, just Aquarius in general is about like, it is associated with the house of hopes and dreams, and like thinking bigger and like our bigger community, the bigger things, that connect us all in life. And so now's a great time to really evaluate, like, is my life in alignment with my dreams and the bigger picture of my life? Because if it's not, now's the time to make that shift. So I hope those messages were helpful for you. If you want something more personal, more personalized messages, a birth chart reading or a tarot psychic reading, any of those things, I do conduct private readings at Confia Collective. You can book with me with the link in my bio. So thank you so much, y'all, and stay foolish. It's okay to make mistakes. Like, life doesn't have to be so serious. That's another thing. Like, Leo is all about play, about creation, about fun. So just any of these big emotions that we're going through right now, make sure that you remember that it can also be fuel for your creative endeavors, creative problem solving, creative, songwriting, whatever every person is creative. Every person is creative in some way, so find that creativity within you somehow to get you through this moment in time. So, stay foolish, y'all.